Here we are. This is it. We got the clap in. We are rolling. This is episode. Can
I say it?
You say it.
400!
Yay!
You guys, this is very exciting. What we're going to do on this, I'm going to stare right into the camera. What we're going to do on this episode is
wrong camera.
Wrong camera. What we're going to do on this, I don't know which camera to look at. What we're going to do on this episode is we're going to turn the mic, we're going to turn the whole show around, and we're going to put the mic on you. This is very exciting. Thank you for joining us, Justin, on your 400th episode of No Laugh Track. Which yes, this is very exciting. So when did you start this?
400 episodes ago.
Oh, you're a real asshole. You know that? That's great. So 400 episodes ago. Now, what gave you the idea to do a podcast at Acme Comedy Company?
Well, the real answer to the first question was the spring of 2012, and the answer to this next question is they approached me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. So they did screw up at least one booking.
I mean, once Acme scheduling is not without its blemishes.
Yes, absolutely. Amazing. And this is the one that shows up every goddamn week. Well,
again, 200, 300, 400. Holy shit,
like
are we done?
At 400, they cut your time for an hour to a half hour. Most of the time, comedians on this stage, the more work they do, the longer time they get. But for you, sir,
that's a great
you
point.
went from headliner to feature. Another 200 episodes you're going to be hosting, and then it's going to be open mic time.
I'm gonna have to show up in the early, sign in, and see if I get picked to host that
You're
week.
the Benjamin Button of comedians, is what you are. You're doing it backwards.
Well, but I'm doing it, and I'm happy about that. This, So thank you for being here.
Yeah.
For the, I think, let's just say it's the fourth or fifth time that you've been here.
Something like that.
Something like that. People can look back and see.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you? That's what I want to know.
Well, better for being here.
Yeah.
It's as you know, it's a pandemic, and I was in a home with a wife and two children, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so to see a person that I didn't make or have to live with every day is so incredibly exciting.
Yeah. I
think
completely
the
agree.
reason I shit on you a little bit is I have not been allowed to I can't do that to my wife. I can't do that to my children.
You can.
No, absolutely not. Try that. Go home. Let's see how that works for you.
We talked about how old your daughters are before we started. They're not the same age as mine. Mine are 12, 14, and a year and a half. I can say anything I want.
I like that.
In front of a year and a half.
12, 14, and an accident.
No. Whoa.
You don't have that much of a gap in kids, and that was family planning.
Yes, it was. It is when you get divorced and remarried, Joe.
Okay. Well,
Yes, it is.
congratulations.
Yes.
You're starting the new one. That's
one and done.
One and done.
Will not be a second.
No, you're not going to make that.
I will put it right on the record right now that if a year from now, I'm like, that one was not planned.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
putting it out there right now. Camera.
Are you
not planned if that
now,
happens
are you going
again.
vasectomy?
No.
What?
I don't want.
Wait. I'm getting a vasectomy in like a month. I cannot wait. I am so excited.
For real.
Absolutely. Because here's the thing. I've had a gun in my pants that I've wanted to shoot at everybody for my entire life. And you're telling me...
Hey, hold on. Give me one of those screens. These screens we have between the seats here for COVID?
You're telling me you're going to put blanks in it and let me go for it? Absolutely. Are you kidding me? That sounds great.
Yeah.
Also, we
have-
talked about this last time, but I have a tattoo on my balls that says "may contain nuts," which just to look at the doctor as he has to perform that procedure on a ball sack that says "may contain nuts" is going to be worth the price of admission.
Wait, you now have got to. There needs to be like an asterisk tattoo, and are you thinking about adding something?
Well, what I'm planning on doing is so there's a period of time in which you don't know where it actually may or may not contain nuts. You're not sure, right?
Fair enough.
And but then you got to go and you got to make love to a cup several times, and then after about 6 months they'll be like, "You're good. Knock it out, buddy."
Yeah.
And so then I think made in a plant that also contains what's the phrase?
processed in
processed in a plant and all that.
yes.
Something like that.
Brazil nuts, hazelnuts, almonds. We're not sure.
Well, the thing I love about Brazil nuts is you could tell how racist your family was by how often they wanted to tell you what they used to call them.
You know what?
I used to call them. I know you said it 5 minutes ago, Grandma.
Boy, I am so thankful that because that used to be on the table every holiday.
Yeah.
So the jar.
And every holiday, somebody told you.
No one did.
What?
Thankfully, I actually didn't hear that term you're referring to until a black guy said it in front of me.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was, holy shit, was I relieved I hadn't heard that before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you'll never guess what they call cashews.
But for the record,
Shoe knuckles. That's what they call them. I didn't want to be the one to tell you, but
for the record, some racism did slip out years later that I picked up on.
in the family?
Yeah,
it's there.
Yeah,
it's there. We're all.
I'm not going to deny that.
Just
It
a
did
little
slip
bit,
out.
and you try to be less racist than you were yesterday. That's always the goal,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Every day, just try to be a little less racist.
Yes. So I want to talk about some things here, So last year, last couple of times, we talked about your awesome tattoo.
Yes.
And then we also talked about you, and I know you went and did it. You went and did some indoor skydiving last time you were
skydiving.
here. And you mentioned maybe you were going to go shoot a machine gun or maybe drive a tank.
Yeah, so those
Did
things.
any of that happen?
The tank didn't happen. The machine gun didn't happen because it was, as you know, it was snowing out the whole time I was here. So we couldn't truly recreate World War One. We were going to try, but there was this. Actually, there is a German sausage house we were going to take the tank to and shoot at with the machine gun.
But because of COVID, you better check their hours. They might have got out of business.
Absolutely. Now it's really, but we did go indoor skydiving.
Yes.
Did I talk to you about that?
Well, no, I haven't seen you
Oh.
since then, but I saw a video that you posted a year ago.
Yeah.
I want to hear about it in
Ali
person
and
now.
I went indoor skydiving, and it was awesome. It was super fun. And my buddy Dave, who owns Movement Minneapolis, a gym here in Minneapolis, is an avid skydive guy. He's done 500,000 of jumps. He's done crazy stuff. He does like those groups where they all skydive together and things like that. And so him and 4 of his buddies went into it, and it looked like popcorn. They were just doing flips and stuff. It was great. So then his buddy who teaches at the iFly brought me in the suit, the squirrel suit thing, and they give you all the directions, and it's super fun.
How many sizes of squirrel suits do they have to choose from? Is it like one size fits most, or?
I don't, you know what? Me and Ollie are about the same size, so they just we shared. But that's a good question. I think the 2 things that I found fun about the experience was, number one, I've never felt, so the guy kind of holds you there. And I've never wanted a man to hold me more than while we were skydiving in place. He wrapped his arms around me. I was like, thank God you're here. I just feel safe. And then Ali, who, I don't know if you know his backstory, but he's from Yemen.
Yeah.
He was dropped off in Somalia, like a cousin's house, for like 4 years while his mom just bounced. He's lived in third world countries, war-torn countries, and he said it was the scariest experience of his life. He said
That you guys paid to do.
that we paid to do.
Yeah.
That we in a contained environment in a tube.
Yeah.
And he was like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, you've been shot at with a machine gun. He's like, yeah, but it's nothing compared to floating gently in space.
So I looked up a couple things about that. I was like, how dangerous is that? And it's not very dangerous.
No.
In fact, this was very interesting to me. Kids as young as 3 years old are allowed to do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are neglectful parents that are very It's if you have health insurance, you should definitely try it. I actually just got life insurance like last month.
Congratulations.
Do you have life insurance?
Yes, I do.
How much are you worth dead?
Way more than alive.
I know, but yeah, you got a number. Come on.
What is it's ask my ex-wife. That's who it goes to support the children that we had together until they turn 18.
Yeah.
I have to have that.
I'm worth $1 million.
Oh my God, not that much.
I'm worth $1 million dead, and alive.
Not that
I'm
much.
worth. I'm a dependent alive. I'm a tax write-off alive, and It was so funny. I got the blood test, and they come and they weigh you, and they do all this stuff, right? And then it came back. I was ultra preferred.
Oh.
I'm ultra. I've never been preferred, even for anybody.
Well, jeez.
And then I came back as ultra preferred, and I've been milking that around the house.
I bet.
My wife's like, I'm tired. I'm like, I'm ultra preferred, so I could get it wherever I want it. So let's.
Are you putting it on a T-shirt to wear around the house? Maybe
Ultra
a robe?
preferred?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ultra preferred, according to Mass Mutual. It's
Put it on the carton of milk.
Yeah. Mine. Ultra preferred. That's for the ultra preferred guy. It's it's where I've been. I immediately started doing just horribly dangerous stuff all of the time.
Nice.
I started treating my body like a rental car with the full insurance.
Sure.
Let's off road this Ford Taurus.
I love that you said that right now. By the way, I want to throw out one more thing. So you can do the indoor skydiving thing as young as 3 or as heavy as 250 pounds.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting as well.
There's not a lot of 3-year-olds that are 250 pounds. So luckily, most 3-year-olds can do it.
Keep an eye out for crossover in those two groups.
Yeah. Well, the reason is, so there's like several fan speeds, and they change the fan speeds based on your skill set. So my fans and your size. So they go, how much do you weigh? And then they don't say that. They weigh you.
I was going to say, I know they are taking people's word for it.
Yeah.
hell no.
Yeah, because you're laying against the net. And they're like, I think you're full of shit, buddy. And so they weigh you, and then they know your skill set level, right? So when my buddies got in there like popcorn, they were at, I think it was 150 miles an hour, the wind speed, and mine was at like 95 miles an hour.
Oh, okay.
But the thing can go crazy fast. But at a certain point, they just can't blow enough wind at you to push a 325-pound guy. You know,
I'd love to see the tests of that.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because I know they can make wind that fast, right? Like, there's no way they can split an atom, but they can't make wind go up 300. Right. But there has to be some element of like, but your body won't stand up to it. You know, like it has to be at a certain point where they're like, but your eyes will fall out.
Yeah,
of your
we
head.
could push it, but
it's not safe at that point.
Right.
Yeah,
I love that. So I love the fact that you never let me down. You've always do something with like you have a story about the tattoo. Last year you told a story about performing naked.
Yes.
There's the things we just talked about. And I have something to propose to you. The next crazy thing you can do now that you have life insurance. It's not even that crazy. A lot of people do it.
Yeah.
Polar plunge. Have you ever done one of those? And do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's where you have sex with a Pollock.
Yeah. You did know. I
yes.
thought I'd stump you with that.
No, polar plunge. Yeah, it's that for some reason that doesn't excite me because there's no danger element to that. Right? It's kind of like a marathon. It just sucks. There's nothing fun about it. You know, you're like, hey, you did that. Everybody's like, oh, I guess you got a weird blanket on now. Why, well, who gives a shit?
Now you're cold and wet.
Absolutely. Now you're cold and wet. That sort of thing doesn't excite me. But if you're like, there's this thing where, okay, so skiing across the lake, trying to ski across the lake.
Yeah.
And then you polar plunge on accident. All right, I'm in. Let's try that.
Accidental polar plunge.
Yeah, I mean, if the danger element is there, I want excitement and danger. I don't want just discomfort, you know?
I did a polar plunge. I showed up just to go skiing, and then I ended up doing a polar plunge. Yeah.
I have to talk to people every day. That's uncomfortable enough. I don't need to add more discomfort to my life.
So, because there's a pandemic, they're doing polar plunges, throughout Minnesota, every state that has cold water. They're doing them all over the place. You can still do them in person, but you can also do, much like I'm sure you've done comedy virtually. I watched your comedy set through Zoom virtually last night.
Yeah.
You can also do a virtual polar plunge. You look confused.
It sounds like the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
You are absolutely not wrong.
Are you shitting me?
So I looked at one of the official websites that hosts one of these polar plunges, has all the information. Here are some ideas to help you get started to do your virtual. Look at you! I love your reaction.
This is how fucking dumb people are. Where they're like, I would love to be cold and wet in my house, but how do I get started?
Yes, Joe. Exactly.
These are the same people that wear the mask with their nose out of it. Just, hold on, it's not working? What do you mean? I love, and here's my other favorite mask wearer, the one who pulls it down to talk to you. Hey, yeah, what was that again? And then it pulls it back up.
Holy crap, did I have to bite my lip the other day when someone in a store next to me did that to talk to a person that they were with?
Yeah.
I can hear you. I could hear you before you pulled it down over you.
Here's what I love is the person who pulls it down 9 times out of 10 says that that the masks don't work. They don't stop COVID. But they also believe that words can't get through it.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely amazing.
It blocks sound, not COVID. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to give you some of these ideas.
Okay.
Well, Joe, if you decided to do this, you could add a bucket of ice water to your favorite TikTok dance.
Okay. I'd have to get a favorite TikTok dance.
It's not hard. There's too many of them. Take the plunge into a bathtub full of ice water.
Oh, is that how you do it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Take a kiddie pool plunge in your backyard.
Oh.
But I'm questioning how you're getting the water in there when the hose is probably frozen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is probably my favorite one because I watched a video that I will post on my Facebook page. If people want to see it later, they don't have to look it up. I posted. It's a guy who doused his head and beard in water and then stood outside and every 15 minutes took a video of how many icicles and frost formed all over his face. I'm not going to do it, but watching someone else do it is actually very entertaining.
Was it?
Yeah.
Have you ever had your grandparents look at somebody and go, "There's no more fucking men left"? I just immediately turned into somebody 80 years old. Really? That's what you're doing?
This is what we're doing
with your fucking day.
Right?
Do you realize there are people? My brothers died face down in the mud because I did.
Yeah.
And just
I farmed 18 hours a day. You're dumping ice water on your head.
I'm a comic who does nothing, and I still am grow the fuck up. Are you
looking
kidding me? Go tattoo your balls like a real man.
Right.
You want to cry for attention? I'll show you a cry for attention.
One final one here that would be fun to trick somebody with is a winter water balloon fight.
Okay, that sounds like fun. I can get behind that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if it was a strip water balloon fight, right? So you get hit with the balloon, but you're in your full stuff, and so you're that shirt's got to come off now. Anything that gets water on it has to come off, and the loser is naked getting pelted with water balloons. I think that would be the way to make that one work.
I think if COVID cancels the Olympics next year, the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, they're talking about that, right? Is it Japan?
Well, that's the summer that's coming up this year.
Oh, well, and Florida said something about we'll do it.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
That's what I love about Florida is they don't exist in this world. Not even just in this country. They don't exist in this world. Florida's a wonderful place. I used to hate it. Because I was it's just a state shaped like a penis full of dicks. And I was let's give it to the Cubans. They obviously want it. Just ship it off. Just saw it off. They only want the southern tip. So it's more like a circumcision. Let's just circumcise it and ship off the foreskin to Cuba.
Like a raft.
Absolutely. Which, then they wouldn't have to make their own.
Yeah.
But I've grown to love it because Florida doesn't. Again, going back to, I have a thing for grandparents and old men. Mm-hmm. Florida is the guy who hits your car, and then you go, "You hit my car," and he goes, "So," and then just drives away. And that's all Florida. I don't care. Things are going bad in your life. I know, and I don't care. I'm fine with that. I've accepted this reality.
I'm near the end. I don't have time to deal with this.
Florida's the dude from The Big Lebowski.
Yes.
He's like, "Fuck it, man. Let's go bowling."
And the Eagles suck.
Absolutely.
So we talked very briefly before we started about kids in school. First of all, there's a thing going on, distance learning. This is how I want to start this out.
Okay.
Let's say when you and I were in school, there was a pandemic, and they couldn't, and computers existed because we're of that age, and we could have done distance learning.
Okay.
How would you have been staying home from school, try and really not being monitored? What kind of student would you have been on your own, just checking in on the computer with your teachers, maybe, a few hours a day?
Well, so at my kids' age, they're in 4th grade and 1st grade. I still wanted to please authority figures.
Sure.
So I actually think I wouldn't have been too bad. Like I look at my daughters and they're kind of stoked,
Okay.
You're not an asshole yet. 5th grade is when you start to become an asshole. You think you're hot shit. You're top of the school, You're starting to you're going to hit puberty soon, And so I think in 4th grade or 1st grade, I still would have been decent.
Okay.
Right? Middle school, oh, that would have took a hard turn. Because what you can do, and my children haven't realized, is you can just put on Netflix and just have that tab open. I'm surprised at how many people actually do their schoolwork.
You're saying that they could be like an old Dilbert comic or something where they're tricking the boss. Right?
Absolutely. I have a friend who teaches high school in the Bronx in New York City, and it's funny. He's like, no one shows up, and when they do, they're still in bed. Like you see them, they just signed on their phone, and they're like half asleep. Like nobody gives a shit.
No, they're leaning back on their pillows.
I think it's great for elementary school kids. They actually can do the work. They're excited to do the work. They're excited to do the things.
Yeah.
They miss out on the social elements, but it's not terrible.
Yeah.
My kids, I think we were talking about this. The school district that they're in has integrated learning. They have it's a partial time at school and partial time at home, and you can either choose that or just all at home. We went all at
hybrid,
home.
they're calling
hybrid,
this, right?
yes, hybrid learning, and they go in school for 4 hours a day for only 2 days a week.
Yeah.
So I was like, if you guys are planning on being comics, this is a good entry into that. It's the same hours, and. What the thing is so it's New Jersey. It's balls cold. They've decided what they're going to do to increase the ventilation is they're just going to leave the windows wide open.
No. No,
absolutely.
No.
And so that was part of the reason we were going to send them, because I don't know if you can learn how to write with mittens on. It does pose a nice, I think, first off, benefit of COVID. There's not going to be any more bullies because everyone's now that weird homeschooled kid.
Yeah.
No one's gonna have social graces whatsoever. But B, bullying won't seem so bad when 3 or 4 kids lost their lives to frostbite and hypothermia.
Right.
That's Did he bully you? Yeah, but when you push somebody around and wrestle, you stay warm. So there's a benefit to all of it.
I was begging him to throw a punch.
You can't. Also, school shootings. You can't shoot a gun with mittens on. No. So I think there's benefits to this that we just aren't looking at.
I was planning on ending the podcast with I was going to ask you for the silver lining of quarantine and COVID.
Yeah.
You already hit it.
Okay, so so in schools, there's no more school shootings. Can't shoot with mittens. There's no more bullies because everyone's weird. Makes drinking and driving a lot easier because if a cop pulls you over, you just go, I'm going to get tested. I can't roll down the window.
COVID positive.
You don't want to. I'm going to keep going for you. Safety first, that sort of thing. Just do a line off the dashboard and keep going. And I think, and in all honesty, I mean, I think it's brought, it's made people understand really what is valuable to them, and it seems like, I guess when you don't have all the distractions of everyday life, you get to really focus on what's important. And for most people, that's alcohol.
Right. And as we've heard, sales have been booming in the last year.
Absolutely.
Illicit drugs, alcohol, booming.
Yeah. Yeah. When you have to sit.
Gambling, booming.
Totally. If you have to sit with your own thoughts, you're going to try to get rid of that real quick. So. Toast, cheers to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before are we going right now?
We got more. Go ahead.
Okay, I thought you were gonna wrap it up.
No, I was just jumping ahead there saying you already beat me to that question.
Because I was gonna say, let's get that cake out here for your they made a beautiful cake.
They did make a beautiful cake. I'll show it on the screen here before we're done. There's no doubt about it. Last time you were here, we talked about your dry bar comedy special and all the filters.
Yes. Yes.
And they didn't catch wind of that, did they?
Well, I don't know. I didn't get sued, so yeah, I think we're good. Luckily, you're not blowing up. You're not Mark Maron, so we're winning.
Are you still getting some views on that?
I think so. Yeah, I get messages every now and then from people that enjoy it, and it's still climbing a little bit. But it's like anything; it pops for a little bit, and then you got to make something else.
Yeah.
You know?
How are you? Like, because we're still, there's still a pandemic.
Yeah.
We're only in January.
Yeah.
What's the rest of your year looking like so far?
Dead.
Really?
I did create a really fun show.
Oh my goodness! I'm glad you're bringing this up. Yes.
So my buddy Lance Weiss started bombing shows because Lance is one of the funniest dudes I know, and his stage performances were always weird and eccentric and out there, and he would start telling ridiculously stupid jokes. And the joke was that he was telling the jokes, and it was this very meta thing, and it was really funny. Jokes like, "Do you think Jimmy Buffett likes buffets?" Anyway, next one. And then he'd go on to the next one, and just stupid, wonderful jokes. And then he'd wrap them in with all these other wonderful things. Like he's like, you guys on Yelp? Which is a hilarious question to ask. And then he goes, my favorite social media, Yelp. He goes, you learn a lot more about people than whatever they're Yelping, by their review.
Oh yeah.
And so he goes, I'm gonna start a new website called Yelp, where we just Yelp people's Yelps. And so again, it's very weird. So I saw him doing this, and I was like, oh my God, Lance, we have to build a show together. So I go on and I start a comedy show for a corporation, right?
In person or virtual?
In person, virtual.
Yeah.
So, and beforehand I meet up and I go, okay, we need to know things about all of your employees, me and Lance both, and we need to know, we need pictures of employees, like does who likes golf, who likes this, who likes that, like one of them, there was this guy who had a crazy messy desk, and so we got all these pictures of his messy desk, and even HR had been called about his desk, that's how bad it was.
Yeah.
And then we start this comedy show, and it's a normal stand-up comedy show on Zoom. And then Lance busts in singing a song. It's good to be here for the happy. He's shirtless with a ukulele. It's good to be here for the thing, and I go, wait, what's going on? And I go, Lance, and he goes, yeah, and I go, oh man, I'm doing a stand-up comedy show. So, oh, I'm the musician. I'm supposed to. And then he goes, what time is it? And I go, it's 3:15. He goes, oh shit, I'm on at 3:45. He goes, can I stay and watch? I go, absolutely. And then he just starts interrupting and interjecting. And people start to realize really quickly that we're in this together.
Yeah.
And then we he'll tag some of my jokes and then we start making it about the audience too. And while he's on the show, he's screenshotting people's squares and then photoshopping them into different things. Like we did one just last week where this guy was wearing a suit. He was wearing a suit on a Zoom call from his house. He just looked as smarmy as they come. So he photoshopped him into a used car lot, and we gave that guy the award for most likely to sell you a used car. And
I love it.
He welcomes people to the bald club if they got, if they're bald, and like
I watched the clip. I saw that. I saw one like that. Very
super
funny.
fun, super ridiculous. It's so absurd. People are loving it because it's also like it's so about the audience. Yeah. And then we do things.
Oh, people love that.
Oh, totally. Well, and then we do things where we started screwing with the medium even. I'll be like, this is so unprofessional, but I have to pee. I mean, I should have peed before. You always pee before a show. That's what they say. Pee before the show. That's like the number one rule of show business. Yeah. Pee before the show, but I have to pee. And so I'm going to, Lance is actually I'm going to have Lance do some jokes. And then he starts doing those jokes and they're just bombing so hard. And then what I'm doing is I'm changing my name to Heckle Him. So my square is changing to, are you kidding me? You call that stand up? Jesus Christ. Have you heard of the dangers of drinking and driving or pregnant? His mom didn't, things like that where I'm heckling him through that. So the joke is about the joke about the show. It's become,
it could go on and on and on and on and on.
It's become so much fun to do. And throughout this whole pandemic and Zoom shows started, I was like, how do we make this fun and interesting? And this was the thing. It's a blast. I was actually thinking on my way over here, I'm going to contact Lewis about doing just one for Acme, where we just do, like, maybe I host a showcase of Acme comedians on Zoom, and then Lance can bomb it, and we can turn it into that whole thing. I think it'd be a blast.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because I watched a little clip on your Facebook page. I think I saw it.
Yeah, it's been really fun. It's been really
Such
fun.
a simple thing, but just freaking genius.
Well,
Love
again,
it.
it's the medium allows for interruptions, for visuals, for new audio. He has this thing where he goes, I love you guys. I just want to give you, I got a little gift for everybody. I'm gonna put it in the chat. And this is from me to you. And it's just a picture. Just go and open up, and the picture says dick pic JPEG. And I go, Lance, no, Lance, you can't. Lance, this is a family show. You can't. And he goes, no, just open it. I go, Lance, I'm not opening that. He goes, no, come on, open it. Come on. And then I open it up, and it's a picture of Dick Van Dyke. And then he goes, well, I got another one, and it's 2 dicks, 1 cup, and it's just Dick Van Dyke and another Dick Van Dyke holding a cup, and it's and then we got one that says hot tits, and it's just it's a cow, it's so dumb and it's so funny and it's super silly. It's just a blast.
What are you guys calling it exactly?
We meeting bomb comedy.
Meeting bomb
It
comedy.
was Zoom bomb comedy, but then his girlfriend is a copyright attorney, and she was like, "If you make any money on this, they're gonna come take all of it."
Zoom's gonna take their huge cut.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Zoom has gotten to like the Kleenex and Band-Aid level of like where they're the word for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So we changed it to Meeting Bomb Comedy. If you go to meetingbombcomedy.com, we have a little website up. It's been a blast, man. It's been super fun.
I love it. But you're still here this week. It's Thursday that we're recording this. There's still a show tonight, to Friday, to Saturday here at Acme. The show times on the weekends are a little different now.
Yeah, what are they? Because I should probably show up on time.
Tell me. 7 and 9:30. 7 o'clock and 9:30.
Isn't there a curfew in this town?
And there's still I think I know your question, and they have it all worked out.
So you guys got the pass? You can't serve drinks after 10. So people just come in and get like 5 drinks and then go to their table? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. So
everyone keep behaving properly, and we'll get through this pandemic, and then we can pack this place, and you can drink until closing time, and it'll be fantastic. But until then, everybody behave.
I know what I'm selling for merch. Booze from the stage. I am going to make a mint on this weekend. Woo!
Has anyone considered those? You've been to Vegas. You've performed in Vegas. Those yardstick, the glasses that are a yard tall.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're like 3/4 of an inch wide.
Yeah.
In diameter.
Yeah, well.
It's a pint glass of shit, but just you wanted to be obnoxious, so you bought it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You wear it around your neck, and it hangs like below your waist.
Yeah, I do. I'm excited this weekend just to see how people deal with that.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a couple people that were like, I just didn't really, I'm not a big drinker. So perfect. I'll have my drink, and then I'll have maybe a Coke and a water, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be the alcoholics that are like, you mean it's going away?
Yeah.
I'll have all of it. What do you...
Joe, as someone who I've worked many hours selling alcohol to people like at sporting events around town, the one thing that I can do to get people's attention that never fails: last call.
Absolutely, yeah.
Never fails.
People start shaking.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And if you don't get to them in time,
I'm sure they're very upset.
oh, you're not making friends like that.
Yeah,
not making friends like that. I think we did it, Joe. I think we're getting. I'm gonna take 2 steps off.
Go get your cake.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Go get your cake. Well, dun 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 dun. Or maybe we should sing "Happy Birthday, Happy Birthday to you, Happy Birthday to you, Happy birthday, no laugh track
to the podcast.
Happy Birthday 400.
Yay!
Wow.
Should I just take a bite of it?
Yes, absolutely.
How's this?
That was great.
There's not any of my lips or anything, are there?
No, you look great. That was perfect. That's exactly what should happen.
All right. Well, thank you, Acme, for sticking with me for 400 episodes. I'm sorry I have food in my mouth. I love comedy. I love Acme. I love Minneapolis. I love Joe Larson and Brandon Simon. Thank you, everybody, and thank you for listening. And we'll come back next week.
Hasta la taco.
Boo!